Hey, what's up YouTube? It's King Vita here, and I'm back with another video, and today I wanted to talk about my video cassette collection. I know I did one on my DVDs right there, so now I will move on to my video cassette collection. I have quite a bit of stuff to go through, and most of these are animation because these are left over from when I was a kid, so again, alphabetized, just like my DVDs over there. So let's get started with the top left here. This is the science fiction genre. This is categorized by genre as well. So, but it's mostly animation, so yeah. We got a lot to go through, so let's get started. The first is, I want to start with Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, Planet of the Apes, the remake. This is the original here with Roddy McDowall, and here's the remake as well with Mark Wahlberg. Predator, Python, Star Trek First Contact, Stargate. This is the original Stargate, as opposed to Stargate SG-1. Yeah, this is the original Stargate. The Ultimate Edition with Kurt Russell and James Spader. So there's that. You got The Last Starfighter. This one's kind of hilarious. This is a bootleg. This is kind of like a bootleg Star Wars, and yeah, this is a teenager basically gets to save the galaxy. And just a random teenager gets chosen by the, I guess, the some sort of intergalactic mission where he becomes a space warrior, which is basically the premise of the entire movie. And he ends up fighting this guy, which is the villain. It's a very weird science fiction movie. And it's funny enough because this one here, this villain here, looks like, if anybody's actually seen the Taiwan, I guess, bootleg Dragon Ball movie, this guy looks like King Horde, which is supposedly like their version of Emperor Pilaf, I'm guessing. Yeah, if anybody's actually seen that Dragon Ball live action movie, it's terrible, but it's actually a lot better than Dragon Ball Evolution. Yeah, so I will link it down in the description below, or anywhere, just so you guys could see it. He literally looks like King Horde. I'm not even kidding when I say this. Yeah. So there's The Last Starfighter. Very interesting science fiction movie. Moving on to the other side of my NES and my Sega Genesis, on this side, more miscellaneous stuff. So you have Free Willy Classic. That's a must-have. Right here. I've had this for a while. As you can tell, my case is yellowed out. It's starting to turn yellow. Saturday Night Fever, Saving Private Ryan, Black Mask. This is a very interesting movie here with Jet Li. He basically plays a superhero called Black Mask. So I don't know if he's actually done a lot of these movies, but this is the first and probably only movie that I know of that Jet Li plays a superhero. So really an interesting movie here. There's a mask, him in full costume. So that's interesting. So yeah, anybody that hasn't seen Black Mask or Jet Li in a superhero movie, there you go. Whoa. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I'm not a really big, I was never really big into Harry Potter. I've only read the books. No, sorry, I saw the movies, but I never really read the books, so... But this is still a great movie. Classic Harry Potter at its best, so... Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Yeah, if anybody's a fan of Harry Potter, you'll definitely like that. Okay. Tom Hanks' Big, Conan the Barbarian. This one is with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I have to stretch all the way over there just to reach it. But this is with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And, yeah, that's a nice cover art there. This movie was released, I think, in 1981. And it's essentially, if anybody doesn't know about Conan the Barbarian, I mean, just look it up. He's really, really, it's very strange. Sorry about that. It's really strange series, but this movie does it justice. I think this movie's pretty good for what it is. And has a lot of, I guess, old kind of like jokes and stuff, like outdated jokes and things, because this is one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's best action movies as far as I'm concerned. I like Conan the Barbarian. Tom Hanks' Big, Dragonheart. This is a really interesting movie right here. There's a really interesting movie here. Dragonheart is essentially a dragon, which is played by Sean Connery, right here. And supposedly, in this movie, it's actually the main character is played by Dennis Quaid. And the story with this one is the main character and Draco, the dragon, played by Sean Connery, or voiced by Sean Connery, they share the same heart, hence the name Dragonheart. And, well, no, not really. These guys are friends. These guys are friends, and he shares the heart, his heart, with the main villain of the movie. And in order to actually kill the villain, our hero is tasked to kill Draco, his best friend, in order to kill the villain, because they share the same heart. But he doesn't want to do it because he could kill his friend. This is a really, really, really heartbreaking movie, because, you know, the hero's given a choice. You know, should he destroy his friend in order to save his kingdom or not? But, yeah, because the story goes that he's trying to be a hero. If I can flip this with one hand. He's trying to become a hero in the eyes of his people. And in order to become a hero, he needs to slay a dragon. But he's friends with the only dragon that have survived for X amount of years. So, yeah, it's a heartbreaking movie, but a very good one. Dragonheart. Definitely check it out. One of Sean Connery's best performances, for sure. Okay, then we have The Mask of Zorro with, I believe, Antonio Banderas. Coming down here, we're going into the animation saga. Animation saga, yes. Animation genre. Animation genre. And this is alphabetized as well, just like my DVD section. So, let's get started with, Ants. This is a, I really don't like this movie. This is a Bugs Life. To me, this is a Bugs Life ripoff. This movie's, it's based on the story of Z, which is this guy, and he's played by Woody Allen. And he's essentially supposed to... Ooh, that is a horrifying image. I do not like this movie whatsoever. But anyway, he goes on an adventure to prove to prove himself to everyone. because he's a worker ant, and he wants to. Supposedly, he discovers this place called Insectopia. Says it right there. Yeah, Insectopia, and nobody really believes him when he says it actually exists. So he goes on this journey, and he brings this character here. Her name is Princess Bala, I believe, and doesn't really say. Yes, it does. Princess Bala, and she's played by Sharon Stone. So he takes her into his adventure, and you know, he tries to convince her that there's more to life than just, being a queen and serving her people, or her ants in this case. And there's more to life than just working and constantly, because, ants work for a living. They're worker ants. So, so Z doesn't want to be categorized by what they've labeled him as. So he goes on this weird adventure to find himself. Ants. I mean, it's a good movie, but I just prefer A Bug's Life. Bug's Life is a million times better. Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. This movie is so amazing. I love this movie. This is Batman Beyond. This movie is, unfortunately, I believe, the rated version, with that doesn't have enough. It doesn't have anything that is. I mean, the movie's good as well. The movie's actually really good, but it doesn't have all the violence, as much violence or as much blood as the unrated version. So yeah, if you're looking for Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, definitely get the unrated version, and avoid this version here. And yeah, this is actually released by Warner Brothers. Yes, Warner Brothers, and this is. It says not rated. I'm sitting here talking about the unrated version, and I'm holding it in my hands. But this is the cut version. There you go. The cut version. Watch the uncut version. It's definitely better than this, for sure. It actually has all the violence and all the bad language and things like that. So, moving on, we have Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. So this movie is weird, but it's basically a Batman based on the animated series. But it's really, really underrated. A lot of people don't really talk about this movie. So basically, this movie is about Batman who gets framed by this guy, the Phantasm. And he starts committing crimes all over Gotham, and everybody blames Batman for it. So he's trying to fight... Batman is trying to do two things at once. He's trying to clear his name by stopping this guy, the Phantasm, and also stopping the Joker. But here's the catch. This guy here is actually female, with a kind of like a voice changer and things. And she uses smoke to escape and things like that. And she got a claw on one hand. It's kind of creepy. And it's funny enough that her is actually her. So Batman, as Bruce Wayne, is in a relationship with this woman here. I believe her name is Andrea Beaumont. Yeah, my memory serves me right. Her name is Andrea Beaumont, and she's the daughter of Gotham City's crime boss. But her and Bruce are in a relationship, and he has his heart broken and doesn't want to be Batman anymore. Once he finds out that she is actually the phantom, whatever. So it's basically a trial of Batman's emotions and things. So while all of this is going on, this whole love problems are going on, the Joker makes an appearance in this movie. And he kind of takes advantage of the whole situation while, you know, doing his thing. Really interesting movie, and quite an interesting plot. So there's that. Definitely check it out if you guys haven't seen Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Very underrated movie. Next we have Bruno the Kid. I know this actually says Pinocchio, but it's actually Bruno the Kid. This is a very weird cassette movie that I have. This is, okay. Bruno the Kid is basically a spy, you know, a child spy. And this is kind of like a joke on on the 007 movies and things like that. And for whatever reason, Bruce Willis is in this. Yeah, so this is a completely animated movie, but Bruno has a computer program that talks to him and gives him like his mission briefings and things like that. And it's actually played by Bruce Willis here. That is, of all people, Bruce Willis. Go figure. And this is actually released by FHE. FHE was like the go-to for animation back in the day. So, yeah, Bruno the Kid. Definitely watch this. This is a very unique movie. Like, Google Bruno the Kid. It's kind of like 007 meets Dexter's Lab. I can't believe can't believe it exists, but it does. Moving on. Here we have The Three Caballeros. This is a really good movie. I have the Walt Disney Gold Collection version, and or release, and this is basically a educational kind of mix of live action and historic movie. So here is Donald Duck. This is basically the story of Donald Duck, who ends up having a birthday party, and he ends up getting presents all over this movie, and one of the presents is this guy. I believe his name is Jose Carioca in Spanish. I don't know the name of English, but yeah, this is a very, yeah, Joe Carioca. There you go. And essentially they become friends, and he travels to like many different places, and you know, Mexico and things like that. And you actually get to learn more about the history of like different places around the world, thanks to Joe here. And then he ends up meeting this guy, which his name is Panchito. Pancho Pistoles. That's his name because he carries pistols. But yeah, this is yeah, I had no idea his last name was Pistoles. Go figure. I guess, I don't know, you know, he has kind of like a weird, it's Walt Disney, what do you expect? No guns. But yeah, it's strange that he actually makes an appearance, or a brief appearance, in an episode of House of Mouse, which is strange. But yeah, definitely Google this. The Three Caballeros. Really good movie, and really good educational about, you know, like different parts of the world, and you know, different cultures and things like that. I think I have this movie on DVD as well. So next you have Charlotte's Web, and Charlotte's Web is a classic. This is a children's classic by E.B. White. This is based on a children's book. And I mean, if anybody doesn't know what Charlotte's Web is, essentially you have so supposedly there's this character called Wilbur, which is this guy, this pig here, and he wants to be the best at what he does, and he wants to grab people's attention. So he uses the help of Charlotte, the spider, to help him, get known around the world so he can win some circus act in the barn, because there's this guy who works at a circus, and he takes the circus around the place and around the world, and just so happens to land on their barn. So Wilbur wants to become famous, and all the animals actually try to help him, including this guy right here, Templeton, the rat. And supposedly he's a good character, like he has a good heart, but he's mostly out for himself. But in the end, like, he's mostly out for himself throughout the whole movie, but in the end you find out that he's actually, he actually really does care about Wilbur, and, he's not all mean as the movie makes him out to be. Yeah. This is a very, very good movie, and a very nice interpretation of the book. And I actually own the book as well, so, I own and have read the whole book. I like the box it comes in. It's yellow. Really nice. So yeah, Charlotte's Web, a classic. But for those of you that are fans of the classic movie of Charlotte's Web, probably don't know that this movie had a sequel right here. Charlotte's Web 2, Wilbur's Great Adventure. While this is not as, while this may not be as popular as the original, nothing ever is, I enjoy it. I really enjoyed this movie. This is more of a musical than anything, and the change in design look really good. So this is basically what happens after, Charlotte passes on and has her 3 children here. And Wilbur is older in this movie, and he gets challenged with the task of being like a father figure to this newcomer, sheep, or lamb, I don't know the name of this character, Cardigan. Cardigan. When Wilbur meets Cardigan, he's daunted with the task of being like a father figure to Cardigan here, as well as the 3 daughters that Charlotte left behind, as well as Templeton makes a return as well. I really like this movie. Obviously, it's never as good as the original, but it's not bad. It's pretty good. It's got some decent music in it, too. So, yeah, if anybody's definitely liked Charlotte's Web, I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy the sequel as well. Moving on from that, we have Dragon Ball Z Cooler's Revenge. This is questionable. I don't even know why I own this. Okay. So, when this movie was released, I went crazy for it because I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. Always have been, always will be. This was before I knew that Cooler wasn't canon. This entire movie, some people might like it, some people hate it. It's a mixed bag. I know there are better movies than this for sure. Specifically, the return of Cooler is just horrendous. It's worse than this. This is not good. There are way better Dragon Ball movies here than this. But the only cool thing I could say about this movie is the soundtrack. Music by Disturbed, Deftones, and a lot more. I think it's got a Dusu. No, Dusu is in the Broly movie, but the non-canon Broly movie. But regardless, it does have really good music as well. For a non-canon movie, it has good music for sure. So, supposedly, Frieza died, and his brother Cooler came to Earth seeking revenge, and nobody knew Frieza had a brother. And then, they got into a fight. He wanted to destroy the Earth, just like every other villain does. And he won. I mean, he would have until he got, he got, uh, he lost to Goku. Goku turned into a Super Saiyan and just obliterated him using the help of the sun. So yeah, what I do like about this movie, even though it's non-canon, is the fact that it acknowledges the canon continuity. Like over here, like the characters from the canon. Like over here, you have a character that is probably not well known unless you're like a really big into Dragon Ball like me. Icarus, right here, the dragon. One of my favorite characters from the lore. Very nice. But yeah, if you're looking for a great Dragon Ball movie, this this is definitely not it. There are better movies than this for sure. On the other side of the spectrum, we have Digimon the movie. This right here. I have 2 copies of this movie. Here and on my DVD collection right over there. This is a very, very good movie. Very amazing movie. I love this movie so much. One of my favorite movies that I own. And this is actually released by Fox Kids. Right here. Back when Fox Kids was a thing back in the 90s. And, yeah. But what's really cool about this movie is, besides this character, I had no idea who this character was until I Googled it and find out it was Magnamon. So I always thought this was a bad guy in the movie. Until I did my research and found out that this is Magnamon. He's actually a good guy. He's actually a good guy. And right here is actually funny because this entire series and movie was actually made from the animators of Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon. So that's really cool. And another cool thing about this is this was before the whole, Digimon and Power Rangers aren't connected type of thing. Because Power Rangers was released by Saban. Or not really made by Saban, but released by Saban. As far as I know, back when I was a kid. And if you look at Digimon the movie, if you look at it all the way in the back, it actually says Saban. So that's cool. Fox Kids and Saban. So this was a very, very cool thing to have when this movie came out. So really nice. And speaking of that, we move on to the series. I have the complete Digimon series, but on DVD. Back then, you couldn't really find the series complete. You just had like separate videos. Excuse me. You got like separate videos that they sold separately. So we'll move on to Volume 1. This is Digimon 01. Excuse me. Gas. So this is Digimon 01. And this has the first 3 episodes of the series. And so it begins. The Birth of Greymon and Garurumon. Again, this is released by Saban. So again, going back to when Digimon first came out, it was a new thing, and it was supposedly fighting for dominance against Pokemon, which is a show I absolutely despise. But I don't know, when Digimon came out, it really just made me a really big fan because to me it made more sense than Pokemon. Again, there's a lot of people that are fans of Pokemon, and that's fine, but I never really liked it. Pokemon was just never for me. So when this came out, it was fresh, it was new, it was unheard of at the time, to be honest. And I grew up more with Digimon than with Pokemon because I was like a Fox Kids kind of kid. So, yeah. This came out and I bought it and I started watching it, and I remember I watched this like 7 times a day. I would rewind it because again there's 3 episodes, and what more could you want as a kid? But yeah, this is a really, really good compilation. There you go. It's a compilation of different episodes from the series, and you could tell it's beat up. I used to watch the heck out of this back when I was a kid, so. I still kind of find it funny that Agumon is like this really dark orange as opposed to his regular colors. Going from that to this. This is right here. This is the Digidestined Child, and again, another one of these compilation cassette tapes. This is the part where they start fighting Venom Myotismon. Myotismon and Venom Myotismon, I guess. Yeah, Venom Myotismon, which is this guy right here. Right there. And supposedly this is the race to find the 7th Digidestined, which is actually Kari. I got Kingdom Hearts in my head. Kari, which is his little sister. But they don't really know that until they actually, you know, have more information on that. So they do everything they can to find the 8th Digidestined child, but Gatomon basically finds her first. Gatomon is trying to escape the clutches of Venom Myotismon because she's kind of like a pawn in the whole in his whole conquest to conquer Earth, basically. So yeah, this is another interesting compilation of three episodes in one. So another good series. Coming over here, you have another one. And this is another compilation. This is Biyomon Gets Firepower, Kabuterimon's Electroshocker, and Togemon in Toy Town. Okay, so Biyomon Gets Firepower is basically when all the kids end up in a scorching desert and they have to fight Meramon, which is a fire Digimon. I'll see if I can find an image and show you what Meramon looks like. And he's attacking everyone. So Biyomon transforms into Birdramon, or as they call it in this show, Digivolves into Birdramon and protects them. She essentially just saves the day, and everyone gets to go continue their journey. Kabuterimon's Electroshocker. This one is a... So everyone actually ends up meeting Andromon in an abandoned factory, which is this guy right here. And they're trying to protect him, but he has like a black gear, and they start attacking him and things. He starts attacking them and things like that. But they eventually, you know, help him out and break free of his curse. And here you have Togemon in Toy Town, which they actually ends up meeting Monzimon, which is a giant teddy bear Digimon. And they're just trying to get back home, going through a giant toy box, essentially. So this is another very good compilation. And over here you have the final one, called A New Digitude. This is the beginning of Digimon's... This is the end of 01 going into 02. So here you actually end up meeting different Digidestined. There's Davis, Yoli, Cody, and their Digimon, which is Hawkmon, Vmon, my second favorite Digimon, and Armadillomon. Memory, don't fail me now. Armadillomon. And this starts off as the beginning of Digimon 02, where they fight this guy, which is Sneemon. And the premise of this one is basically Ken. There's a villain named Ken in the beginning of Digimon 02 who controls Digimon using black rings as opposed to black gears. And they do his bidding, and it's up to Digidestined to save the day. And it's basically the same thing with a plot twist. So, moving from my Digimon stuff to 3 Dragon Ball Z things I have. Here is Android's Invasion. This is the beginning of the Android saga, where episode 111, 112, 113, and 114, where Android 20, aka Dr. Giro, appears with Android 19. And essentially, they actually start killing everyone in the city, and it's up to Yamcha to save everyone, but then Yamcha gets KO'd and like, destroyed by Android 20. What's new? And it's up to the Z Fighters to stop him. And this is the beginning of when Goku starts having his heart virus, which he ends up getting pummeled by Android 19 in the process. And then it's up to Vegeta to save the day. And this is when Vegeta, you find Vegeta tells a story of how he was able to become a Super Saiyan on a deserted planet that was being attacked by meteors. So really good stuff. And this is directly released by Funimation as well. So over here you have Perfect Cell, Hunt for 18. Again, these are just random random cassettes that I have, just random compilation of 3 episodes per cassette. Before I ended up getting the complete series, which again I still need 7, 8, and 9. But over here you have Perfect Cell, Hunt for 18. This has episode 138, 139, and 140. Sacrifice. This is when Tien actually starts attacking Imperfect Cell, or not, Semi-Perfect Cell, I guess you could say, in order to give androids 18 and 16 a chance to escape. And then from that, we move on to, and then he just exhausts himself, so. And then we move on from that to Saiyans Emerge. This is when Vegeta and Trunks end up finishing their hyperbolic time chamber training, and Vegeta actually goes to attack Cell by himself with Trunks, which leads to episode 140, which is the first appearance of Super Vegeta. You know, when Vegeta actually transforms into his Ultra Super Saiyan form, essentially. But yeah, this is another compilation. And here you have another compilation, which is I Am Saiyaman. This is when Gohan stopped a bunch of bank robbers as the Golden Fighter, which he was just Super Saiyan, and he needed a new identity because the Golden Fighter is kind of like boring and stale, so he ended up, with the help of Bulma, he ended up getting a new costume, which is the Great Saiyaman suit. And from there, he ends up fighting crime and things like that. And so there's that. And this one is hilarious. This is Gohan's first date. This is before he ended up with Videl. And yeah, this is so weird. I believe her name was Angela, and she actually saw Gohan turn, I guess, from Super Saiyan, I'm not sure, back into normal, and she actually was the first one to see it. And she kind of blackmailed him into like, hey, you have to go out on a date with me or else I'll tell the whole world your secret. So there's that. And over here you have Rescue Videl, which is the Red Shark Gang. When the Red Shark Gang actually end up attacking the whole city, they demand a showdown with Hercule. But Hercule is too scared because he's Hercule. Duh. So Videl actually ends up fighting the Red Shark Gang only to get help from the Great Saiyaman. So, I guess this is a really good compilation to get. So, among the rest. So here we move from that to Hamtaro. Hamtaro is actually my only... Oh, not really only. I have a couple videos. Viz Video. So this is actually released by Viz Video. And if anybody doesn't know, Hamtaro is basically a... hamster who goes on adventures. like every episode is a new adventure, and yeah, this is a very, very entertaining show, at least for kids. It's mainly aimed at towards girls, at least I think so. But I grew up with this. I think this is a really, really good TV show. And if anybody doesn't know what Hamtaro is, just Google Hamtaro or just YouTube Hamtaro. Very nice TV show. Very nice. I love this. One of my favorites. Next, we move on from that. We move on to Lady and the Tramp. Lady and the Tramp is a classic movie. And, I mean, I don't really have much to say about this. Everybody knows Lady and the Tramp. Character from the wrong side of the tracks meets the girl, the right, perfect girl from the right side of the tracks. I mean, there's really nothing to say about this movie. It's classic. It's a great movie. Next we have this one, and boy oh boy, I have quite a lot to say. At least, I hope not. This is Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure. So this is a sequel, solely, what do you call it? A sequel solely focused on this character. And this guy, his name is Scamp, as you can see, Scamp's Adventure. And Scamp is one of the kids from Lady and the Tramp here. And he's just trying to find his own place in the world. And he kind of defies his father. He doesn't really want to follow in his father's footsteps. So he tries to prove he's a man by leaving the house and claiming to be a junkyard dog, like a dog from the streets. That's where he ends up meeting these guys. Every one of these characters is actually a good character, like good-hearted, except for this guy. His name is, wow, I am completely derping. Buster! His name's Buster. Okay, so he ends up meeting Buster, and Buster is, he discovers that Buster and Tramp have a very long history, you know, of beefing with each other. And he tries to get Scamp to go against everything he stands for. And he essentially gets him in trouble, gets him stuck in the pound, and, you know, his dad has to help him and everything. But the only character that actually really does care about him is Angel, which is this one right here. I believe that's a Pomeranian, I'm not sure. But, yeah, Angel really does care for him. They end up falling in love, and then he ends up going back home. Whereas Angel is always looking for a home. She's been looking for a home her whole life, and Scamp doesn't really want a home. He wants to be a street dog. And Angel tries to knock some sense into him, saying, hey, you have a home to go to. You know, you're not like the rest of us. And he ends up, by the end of the movie, he ends up going back to his senses and coming home, where Angel actually, they accept Angel as one of their own, so she ends up having a home too. Whereas everybody else goes to the pound. Well, no, everybody has a home except Buster. Buster ends up stuck in the junkyard, apparently. So there's that. There's Lady and the Tramp 2. And we move on from that to The Land Before Time 6, The Secret of Source Rock. This is one of the best movies that I actually have. Because I've always been a huge fan of dinosaurs ever since I was a kid. What kid is it? And I actually have this movie in Spanish for whatever reason. I don't know why. But yeah, this movie is just like the rest of the movies. It's released by Universal and yeah, Universal Cartoon Studios. And essentially this is the continuation of Littlefoot. And if you younger audience, you younger viewers don't know what Land Before Time is, Google it. It's basically what got me into dinosaurs, and it's a very, very nice story. So you have the story of Littlefoot here, who's trying to meet his father, and, really? No! Wait. No, not really. The story goes that, Littlefoot, in this movie, he's infatuated with a giant boulder that looks like a dinosaur called the Saurus Rock. And it's based on, I think, the Lone Dinosaur. Yes, the Lone Dinosaur, if I'm not mistaken. And the lone dinosaur actually ends up becoming friends with him. I believe his name is Doc, something like that. I'd had to rewatch it. I have I have every single movie on DVD. I'd have to rewatch it, but pretty sure this is a really good. But it's a really good series entry to the series. So moving on from that, we have The Secret of Nim 2. So The Secret of Nim 2, I'm not really a big knowledgeable person on The Secret of Nim, but The Secret of Nim 2, I used to see this movie a ton. And I'm probably in the minority. The Secret of Nim 2, The Secret of Nim, the first one was an amazing movie from what I remember. But I'm probably in the minority that I actually end up liking the sequel more. That's just me. So the story goes that in this movie, you actually end up meeting a character called Timothy Brisby, which is this guy here. And he's always looking for adventure. He wants to prove that he's every bit the hero his father used to be. And pretty much everyone tries to believe him, but nobody ends up believing in him. Because he's hard-headed. You know, he's just a kid. He wants to have fun, and he wants to go on adventures, and he wants to be, you know, a normal mouse. But everyone expects a lot of him because he's apparently, you know, the main hero's son. But throughout the whole movie, he finds out that he's who he's supposed to be, and he goes on adventures and things like that, and to protect Thorn Valley. And on his mission, on his journey, he actually ends up meeting all these characters. Like here's Seesaw, I believe that's his name, Seesaw. He ends up meeting what's her name, Jenny. Yeah, Jenny and this guy. What is his name? Why do I keep forgetting his name? Jeremy. There you go, Jeremy. And these three actually end up helping him complete his mission to stop the main villain. Which is funny enough, spoiler alert, it's actually Martin, which is his brother. Yeah. Weird plot twist. So, yeah, the villain is supposedly Dr. Valentine. Dr. Valentine, but you find out throughout the whole movie that Dr. Valentine is actually mind-controlled by his brother, Jeremy. I mean, not Jeremy, Martin. Keep forgetting their names. Martin. So it's one of those movies. But it's a great... to me, it's actually a good sequel. Not as good as the original, but it's still good. Here we have... Pokemon. I'm not really a big Pokemon fan. I don't really like this. I don't even know why I own this. To anybody that's a Pokemon fan out there... salute to you, but I do not like Pokemon. This is a really... I don't know. I was never really into Pokemon as a kid. I was more into, like, Dragon Ball Z, Digimon, and things like that. Pokemon didn't really appeal to me. I couldn't tell you anything about this movie. I don't even remember this movie. But I'll do my best. So supposedly this movie is about... what's his name? Well, whatever. He ends up going with a Pikachu, because that's pretty much all I know. And he ends up becoming the hero of this movie. So, man, I can't even tell you anything about this movie. I don't even remember. All I know is that this thing... Lugia is... Lugia, that's the name. Lugia is the guardian of some ice continent or what have you. I don't even know. And in order to summon him, you need these three guys. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'd rather not. I don't even know. I don't even know. Let me stop talking before I offend anybody who's actually a Pokemon fan. I don't even know where these cassettes came from. I don't know. It's not my thing. Coming on from that to down here, we have more of these. Again, I don't even know where these came from, so sorry to Pokemon fans out there, but that's not my thing. I don't even remember anything. Coming out from that, we have this. We have Powerpuff Girls. This here is a compilation of every single Powerpuff Girl episode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 episodes. Not every episode. 5 episodes compilation from when Cartoon Network aired the original Powerpuff Girls. And also this actually comes with a Sheep in the Big City bonus cartoon. That's very nice. And the original CartoonNetwork.com logo right there. This is when CartoonNetwork.com was fun. You would go there and you would like play games and a lot of games, and it would have some episodes, so you could actually watch a couple episodes on the website itself, as opposed to going to the television and waiting for your favorite show to come on. But yeah, this is a very, very good compilation, and if you can hunt this down, buy it. It's called Birthday Bash. They used to sell like a ton of these Powerpuff Girls compilation, just like a Dexter's Lab, as compilations on cassettes. So this brings Birthday Bash, Beat Your Greens, which is basically an episode trying to teach kids to eat their vegetables. Paste Makes Waste. It's about a kid who is trying to fit into the school, but he eats paste. Yeah. Oh, wow. Schoolhouse Rocked. Can't even remember what that is. Los Dos Mojos. This is a funny episode, I believe. This is when Bubbles loses her memory and she thinks she's Mojo Jojo. She thinks she's Mojo Jojo, and everybody has two villains to deal with until Mojo bashes her on the side of the head with a pipe, and for whatever reason her memory jogs back. So, and she becomes Bubbles again. Really interesting episodes. Really interesting episodes. Fox. Oh, Fox. Okay. Fox is down. Okay, so moving from that, we have the Powerpuff Girls movie. This is a very, very good movie, and this essentially shows the story. The premise of this movie is Mojo Jojo comes in contact with a serum, the same serum that turned him from a monkey into, a maniacal villain, and he uses the same Chemical X, I believe. That's what it's called, Chemical X. He uses the same chemical that turned him into a monkey to create the entire population of monkeys from the zoo in Townsville, and they all become evil, which is kind of funny because every one of them ends up having a brain, and they all challenge Mojo Jojo for like who's the god, who's the king of mayhem. And it's funny. It's really funny. But when that happens, everything goes completely bizarre. Like, this movie does a complete 180. It's hilarious in the beginning, but then it turns into like this reddish, the sky turns red. It's basically the end of the world. This movie takes a really dark turn. And what's funny is that I really don't know if they got sued for this, but in this movie, Mojo Jojo becomes so huge, it's kind of like the Powerpuff Girls versus King Kong. I am not kidding. I'm not making this up. It's them versus King Kong. Mojo Jojo turns so big that he ends up climbing up a tower just like King Kong. Wow. everything that could possibly go wrong in this movie goes wrong. Like, you have to see it to believe it. So coming from that, we move on to Robin Hood. This is the Disney version right here, and a lot of people have actually mentioned on the internet where Robin Hood himself looks like Todd. I kind of see the resemblance, kind of, maybe, yeah, kind of. But yeah, this is a very, very good movie. And this is the Disney version of the Robin Hood story that everybody knows. You know, I got the the Walt Disney Gold Collection version. So yeah, I've had this for a long time now. Another funny thing about this is Little John is actually blue. Same guy. That's weird. It's the same voice actor. So we move on from that to, I have a ton of Scooby-Doo movies. And I mean a ton of Scooby-Doo movies. So, let's get started, shall we? Okay. So first off, we have Scooby-Doo's Spookiest Tales. And these are released by, most of these are released by Warner Brothers, and some of these are released by Cartoon Network themselves. So this is Scooby-Doo's Spookiest Tales, and this is essentially a compilation of Scooby-Doo's classic villains, you know, classic TV shows, episodes of his classic TV show. And this actually shows classic Universal monster movies, you know, like, I don't know if this is based on Frankenstein, but that's the Creeper right there. Dracula. Yeah. So this is when Scooby-Doo and the gang, I guess, come in contact with classic monster movies, you know, classical monsters like The Witch's Ghost, you know, interesting classic stuff. So we move on from that, we move on to another Scooby-Doo called Scooby-Doo and the Arabian Nights. Again, this is a Scooby-Doo in you know, kind of like an Aladdin setting. And what's really funny about this is the genie is Yogi Bear. That's interesting. So this is kind of like an Aladdin take on, you know, on Scooby-Doo and Agrabah. And what's really interesting is that if you look at the buildings in the back, yeah, they definitely took inspiration from Agrabah. So it's Scooby-Doo and Agrabah. This is my only What's New Scooby-Doo cassette. I don't have anything else of What's New Scooby-Doo. So this is Space Ape at the Cape, and this is Scooby-Doo versus Aliens. What's more to say? This is a compilation of 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes, and they all have to do with aliens. So, yeah, very interesting. And there's this one episode where they're watching a movie, and it's 3D, 3D destruction. And they think they're watching a monster movie, but the monster actually comes out of the movie and is actually a guy in a suit, so that's funny here. So Scooby-Doo Space Ape at the Cape. Next, we move on to Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood, right here. And this is Scooby-Doo, where he's essentially trying to be famous in Hollywood, and Scooby-Doo wants to be a very serious actor, and Shaggy wants to be his manager. So that's the whole plot of the whole movie. But throughout this whole movie, you'll see like a bunch of like references and tropes and stuff. Like, for example, right here, his Scooby-Doo dressed as Elvis. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on here. Next, Scooby-Doo's Creepiest Capers. This is, again, another compilation of classic Scooby-Doo episodes. Scooby-Doo's Greatest Mysteries, another compilation. This is actually a couple episodes handpicked by the fans that were turned into a compilation on a cassette tape. I like how he's dressed like Sherlock Holmes. This is a compilation of 4 episodes into one, so into one cassette. Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. This is when Scooby-Doo and Shaggy both enter this giant castle, but they find out it's a school for ghouls, as the name implies. And this is really funny. This shows that Shaggy and Scooby both become teachers at a school for monster movie characters. But it's funny enough because the characters, the students in the school, are actually the children of the classic monster movie, of the classic Universal monsters. So there's Dracula, you know, there's the Mummy, Frankenstein. Really interesting stuff. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase is a movie where Scooby and the gang get attacked by a virus. And they have to enter the cyber realm in order to, you know, get rid of it. So, and they actually go, while they're on the cyber realm, they go through many different places. Like here's ancient Egypt. There's the Jurassic period. You know, they meet Einstein. This movie is insane. This movie is crazy. All to stop a virus. Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. This is by far my favorite Scooby-Doo movie that I own. This movie deals with aliens, as the title implies. So Scooby and the gang are trying to stop an alien attack, but they find out that the guys these guys here, which are the aliens, they're just guys in suits trying to start a paycheck, trying to scare the locals so they could have the land all to themselves. And what's funny enough is that while all of this is going on, they meet Amber and Crystal, which are right here. That golden retriever and that lady driving the Jeep right here. There you go. They're the real aliens. They're actually the real aliens all along. And Scooby and Shaggy actually end up falling in love with them, and they try to help them get back to their planet while stopping the real villains, which are the guys in the suits, in order to you know, get what they want. Really good movie, actually. Really, really good movie. And finally, we come to the very last Scooby-Doo movie that I have. Finally, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. This is released by Warner Brothers, whereas that was also released by Warner Brothers, and Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase as well. This is Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. So Scooby and the gang meet a famous horror writer named Ben Ravencroft, and he invites him to New England for his hometown in Big Autumn's Harvest Festival. So what this guy does, Ben's ancestor Sarah, is haunting the whole place, and she was a witch. She was actually a witch. So when the writer finds out that his sister, I believe is it his sister? Ancestor, doesn't specify, but his ancestor is haunting everything going around the place. He calls Scooby and the gang to put an end to them. So again, another really good movie. So coming out of the whole Scooby-Doo craze, we get on to Spider-Man. And this is the original Spider-Man. Let me pull this out here. This is the original Spider-Man. This is a compilation of just 2 videos here. The first is The Amazing Spider-Man, and it shows the origin of Spider-Man. This is how Spider-Man got his powers. as well as the Kilowatt Caper, which I believe, since this was released in 1966 and 1967, I'm assuming this was Electro's first appearance in any animated series. Because Spider-Man was created in 1962. Yeah, 1962, and this was released in 1967, 1966. So, yeah, this was definitely Electro's first appearance. Definitely check it out. I think it's on YouTube. You should definitely check it out. The first is called The Origin of Spider-Man plus the Kilowatt Caper. All these episodes are available on YouTube, so like look them up. For sure. And this was actually released by 20th Century Fox. And another funny thing about this is, fun fact, Marvel released this show with the help of Saban. Right here. Yeah, Saban actually released this. Yes, that's Saban. That same Saban released this. A Marvel property. Wow. So, yeah, for those of you that didn't know, now you know. The more you know. Wow. So, coming from that, we have Star Wars. We're almost done. Don't worry about it. We're almost done. So here you have Star Wars. This is Star Wars Droids. This is Star Wars, the animated series, animated classics. And yeah, Star Wars actually had an animated series. This was released back in 1985 by George Lucas himself. Lucasfilm themselves. And yeah, if anybody's like a really huge Star Wars fan and hasn't seen this, do yourself a favor and check it out. It's called Star Wars Droids. Great TV series, and highly underrated. I've never actually heard anyone talk about this. You know, even among Star Wars fans, like no one seems to talk about Star Wars Droids. I really like it, so there's that. Really good TV series. And yes, this is a one episode. This is, I think, one episode turned into a movie. This is actually released by Lucasfilm, so I'm guessing this is canon? I don't know. I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I don't know the lore, so let me know in the comments below if this is canon or not. Star Wars Droids. Really good cartoon. Released by 20th Century Fox and Lucasfilm. And now we get on to the Godfather trilogy. I have the Godfather Part 1, 2, and 3. And this is actually released on a box set right here. The Godfather Collection. Released by Paramount. Right there. So this is actually released by Paramount. And this is a really big box set that has 6 cassette tapes. 6 cassette tapes and 3 boxes. So you have Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. Right there. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Coming from that, we finally get to the music genre. And here you have a bunch of Michael Jackson stuff. You know, I was always a fan of the Michael Jackson stuff. So we have Moonwalker. This is Michael Jackson's original movie, which is basically a compilation of episodes of music videos. Man in the Mirror, Batter, which is a new version of the Bad clip. Speed Demon, Leave Me Alone, Smooth Criminal, Come Together, and The Moon is Walking, which is an epilogue. made by Ladysmith Black Mambazo. So this is a really good, interesting movie. If you guys haven't seen it, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. They also made a Sega Genesis game based off of this. So, Michael Jackson's videos, greatest hits. This is a compilation of the greatest hits of Michael Jackson. It's got Billie Jean, Black or White, The Way You Make Me Feel, Rock With You, Bad Thriller, Beat It, Remember the Time, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, and Heal the World. Really good, another really good compilation. Okay. Now we get to the Backstreet Boys live in Orlando. And, which I actually did get to see live, interestingly enough. So this is a concert video, essentially just a compilation of, you know, live shows that they did with their, while they were live in Orlando with all their songs. So, and here's Michael Jackson's another short film compilation, Black or White, Super Bowl, Heal the World, Remember the Time, Will You Be There, In the Closet, Gone Too Soon, Jam, Heal the World, Given to Me, Who Is It, and Dangerous. This is from the Dangerous tour, and it actually has the cover with Bubbles right up top with a king's crown on it. So another good the short films, another good Michael Jackson compilation. So from the Dangerous World Tour. And this is actually released by Epic Music Video. And last but definitely not least, we have Queen's Greatest Hits. This is again another compilation of Queen's music videos. Right here. So, We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, Another One Bites the Dust, Killer Queen, Somebody Love, Fat Bottom Girls, Bicycle Race, You're My Best Friend, Crazy Little Thing Called Love, Now I'm Here, Play the Game, Seven Seas of Rye, Body Language, Save Me, Don't Stop Me Now, Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy, I Want to Break Free, and Bohemian Rhapsody. So this is, again, another compilation of Queen's live shows when they did with Freddie Mercury. With all their songs on it. Well, not all their songs, but most of them, So, yeah. There you have that. So, that pretty much does it for my cassette collection. VHS collection. I know this is a bit lengthy, but hopefully you stuck with me throughout the whole video. And yeah, I'll have links to my social media as well as anything else you guys wanted to know about any of these movies linked below. But yeah, thanks for sticking with me to the end. And this right here is my entire video cassette collection. And this King Vito saying,